Yeah, okay. So let's see the module 8. Excuse me. So what we are going to learn in this module? We learn about, in this module, we learn about the structure of flagella. Structure of flagella. The structural components of a typical flagellum include axoneme and microtubules present in the axoneme and dynenorms, then the inner and outer sheath, then the radial spokes, then the basal granule, and everything here, everything we are going to learn in this particular module about the axoneme, microtubule, dynenorms, inner and outer sheath, radial spokes, and the basal granule. Let's take the transverse section of the flagellum to understand it much better. Here you can see the transverse section. That body of flagellum is covered by plasma membrane. So when you take that outer sheath and then inner sheath, actually visibility of this particular all these things when you go in a clear view, it is possible. Let's take a look and then after we'll draw the diagram to understand that A microtubule, B microtubule, that above the pellicle how it look like, below the pellicle how it look like, all they are shown. I have to say after the explanation how you can understand all these things here. Let me say one after another, one after another. Let me go here. A central longitudinal microtubular structure of flagellum or cilium, whatever, that is axoneme. So who is called axoneme? What is the clear-cut definition of axoneme? Why I'm saying that I'll bring you I said to you, I explained the structure of flagellum, isn't it? Now why I'm using the word axoneme? What is the difference between the axoneme and flagellum? Both are same, or is there any difference? That will have definition that you can understand. That axoneme surrounded by the plasma membrane or protoplasmic sheath, we say flagellum. Okay, so if you say, so what is the difference between the flagellum? So here it is a protoplasmic sheath. Okay, in that protoplasmic sheath, what is present? The flagellum is present with their outer sheath and inner sheath. The total this is said to be as flagellum. Okay, so this outer sheath, protoplasmic sheath or plasma membrane. So protoplasmic sheath this is, and the inner one this is axoneme. Okay, so simply whom we call flagellum? Axoneme plus axoneme plus protoplasmic sheath. Chocolate plus chocolate wrapper, I am just talking about chocolate along with the wrapper, we say flagellum. Okay, so if I remove that the chocolate wrapper, protoplasmic sheath, what you can see? Axoneme. Okay, that do remember that the structure of axoneme, structure of protoplasmic sheath, no matter here. That all the components of axoneme are embedded in the matrix. Okay, so then let's talk about the transverse section. An axoneme is made up of two central singlets and nine peripheral doublets. Okay, no, two central singlets and peripheral doublets. So first of all, let me show you where I am and where I have to go. Okay, so that what is the best example we are taking from the beginning for that flagellum, that is euglena, isn't it? So let me draw the euglena for you. So in the euglena, that what we say, there are two flagellum are present. Okay, that is one longer flagellum, one shorter flagellum. Okay, so this flagellum only you are now observing in microscopic view like this. That you need to understand first of all. That means if we cut somewhere, if we cut and if you see, it seems to be like this. Okay, so that seems to be like this. Let me show you that area clearly. So this is the axoneme, the transverse section of the axoneme. In the transverse section, what you can see, two central singlets. The two central singlets are present, and nine peripheral microtubular doublets are present. which I am going to draw that microtubular doublets to you. That 9 peripheral, that by location we say they are peripheral. Okay, so 9 peripheral because they are located in the periphery. So peripheral microtubular doublets are present here. So 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. So whatever the information we have that I just explained to you. 2 central singlets. Okay, so these are the 2 central singlets. And 9 peripheral microtubular doublets are present here. Okay, so 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. 2 central singlets and 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. Okay, so let me complete this. Let me show you. So axone, that again they are showing here 9 peripheral microtubular doublets and 2 central singlets. So what do you say it as 9 plus 2 arrangement? That we say, we call it as 9 plus 2 arrangement. Each peripheral doublet consists of an outer A and inner B. There are 9 microtubular doublets here. That in that every microtubular doublet is having that 2 microtubules which are named as A microtubule and B microtubule. A microtubule and B microtubule. Okay. So that A microtubule and B microtubule. So chalo, let's go through this. The microtubular doublets. With that we said each microtubular doublet. We are using the word doublet, isn't it? So that means doublet. That means 2 microtubules are present. In the 9, which you are observing here, in that 2 microtubules are present. That all that we are giving names even to that microtubule. What are they? A microtubule and B microtubule. A microtubule and B microtubule. Okay. So let's continue here. So there are smaller and larger one. Let me continue here. About the microtubule, the peripheral doublets are interconnected by linkers. Linkers called nexins. There you can see the linkers called nexins. These are formed by the protein called tubulin. They're formed by a protein called tubulin. Now we have a full picture of this particular the microtubular doublets. So let me show you. These are the singlets, the 2 central singlets. Okay, these 2 are called as 2 central singlets. Okay, and 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 peripheral microtubular doublets are present here, and that singlets are connected to this particular microtubular doublets with the help of radial spokes. With the help of radial spokes. Okay, so let me see. The A tubule of each peripheral doublet bears paired arms along its length. Have you seen the paired arms? That we say that paired arms are dynein arms. They are made of a special protein called dynein arm. The dynein arm of A tubule, the face, the tubule B of the adjacent tubule. The dynein arm of A tubule always face the tubule B of the adjacent doublet. Okay. So they are oriented in the clockwise direction. They are considered as protein motor molecule. The role will come soon. Here you see the dynein arms. Everywhere you can see the dynein arms. Okay, so they are made up of a protein called dynein. They are made of a protein called dynein. Okay, so in another angle, you can see here the complete information about this. This is the inner sheath, and this is the outer sheath. There are 9 peripheral microtubular doublets are present here. So 9 peripheral microtubular doublet, and each, if you bring it out, that you can see the A microtubule and B microtubule. Okay, so this is A microtubule and this is B microtubule. Then A microtubule is having dynein arms like this. A microtubule is having dynein arms. Even we'll draw that, but you see here. And in the between these, connecting with the other microtubule, that there are nexins are present here. Okay, so this is A and this is B, and this is next. Full diagram also I show, but let us try to recognize them. Let us try to represent them. Okay. Then next, let's continue here. The inner and outer sheaths, the two central singlets which are surrounded by the fibrous inner sheath, and peripheral doublets which are enclosed by the outer sheath. That is the total story of them. That you can see that clearly in this diagram. There is a central pair that which include the two central singlets and 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. Okay, so this diagram is that I request you people need to take the screenshot of this diagram. We have two more questions here. Draw the labeled diagram of transverse section of TS of axoneme or TS of flagella or cilium. Flagellum or cilium, whatever it may be, it is same in both flagellum or cilium. Okay. So this is the diagram. You people need to draw this diagram here. Okay. So what we have to say, this is the central singlet. Central singlet, there are two microtubules are present inside, which are surrounded by inner fibrous sheath, and 9 peripheral microtubular doublets are present here. The 9 peripheral microtubular doublet, we need to connect them actually. That's a little bit problem here. That let me close this and let me connect this. Small corrections required here for this diagram. This is the inner fibrous sheath, and after that, from the A microtubule. Okay, so after my correction, you just take the screenshot. This is the best known diagram you can see. So we need to connect like this because the radial spokes are connected one side to the A microtubule and other side to the inner fibrous. This is the complete diagram. This is the complete diagram. I request you people need to take the screenshot. This diagram, TS of axoneme, or you may call it as TS of flagellum or cilium. TS of flagellum or cilium. Yeah, okay. So this is the diagram you people need to draw. So then from here, what to be remembered? That central singlets, that all here, that from here, central singlets. That means two central singlets are present and 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. Okay. So this 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. Central singlets are surrounded by that inner fibrous sheath. Central singlets are surrounded by inner fibrous sheath and microtubular doublet. If you bring them in microscope, you can see here there are two types of microtubules, that is A microtubule and B microtubule. And A microtubule is having the special kind of protein, arm-like structures they have that are made up of a protein called dynein, hence we call them as dynein arm. Okay, so the dynamics of A microtubule is always towards the dynamics that are always towards the B microtubule of their neighboring doublet. Okay, so likewise, always you see here, this is the A and this is the B. That means each time the dynamics are facing B microtubule of another microtubular doublet. Okay, so that to be remembered. So I'll show you once again that vector diagram. This is very important for us. Okay, let me show you once again all these things. Radial spokes are the elastic fibers that connect the inner sheath with the A tubule of the each doublet. This is the actual view. When you cut, when you see, just it's like a electric wire. If you that remove that rubber sheath, what you can see inside the copper wires, isn't it? It is just like if you remove the flagellary protoplasmic sheath, what you can see inside this 9+2 arrangement, 9 peripheral microtubular doublets and 2 central singlets. You can see there. Okay. So anything, either flagellum or cilium, what we are saying from the beginning, they are going to arise from the basal granule or kinetosome. They are from the basal granule or kinetosome. It is a cylindrical body formed by the 9 peripheral triplets arranged in a circle. Here it is. What you can see is the flagellum, isn't it? So their base is going to be the basal granule or blepharoplast or basal body, okay, or kinetosome, or kinetosome. So the tubules of the each triplet are designated as A and B. That we have another tubule now. That what do you say? C. From the center towards the periphery. Both A and B crosses the basal plate or continue as peripheral doublets above the pellicle in the axoneme. Okay. The tubule C terminates at the basal plate. Thus, the triplets of the basal granule are converted into doublets. The microtubules are absent. The central microtubules are absent in the basal granule. The basal granule is connected to the plasma membrane and nucleus by a rootlet. Going to be much complicated back again and again. There is a right. The rootlets can pull the flagellum and alter its orientation. Without a visual, you can't understand anything actually. That's the problem. Okay, so let me say once again. Let me say once again. So on screen, this diagram you are observing seems to be clear but not clear, isn't it? Okay, let me draw our known euglena. So this is the euglena. Okay, so just focus here. The so that will understand everything. No matter. No need to get tension. This is the flagellum. Okay, so what is this flagellum? If you take the transverse section of the flagellum, how it seems to be, that we discussed now. There are 2 central singlets and 9 peripheral microtubular, excuse me, 9 peripheral microtubular doublets. Okay, so 9 I drawn, 9 peripheral microtubular doublets, and the inner fibrous sheath with central singlets are covered with and connected to the microtubule. Which microtubule? A microtubule with the help of radial spokes. Okay, so and we called it as this such kind of arrangement as 9+2 arrangement. And moreover, we are seeing the dynenorms. Each A microtubule is having dynenorms like this, dynenorms like this. Along the length, each dynenorm is facing that B microtubule of another one. And where all these particular seen here in the transverse section of flagellum, this one. So what is the another thing which you are saying from the beginning? Either blepharoplast or basal gland that or the either flagellum or cilium that should arise from the blepharoplast or basal body or basal granule, isn't it? Whether it is longer flagellum or shorter flagellum. So this much longer it is not present, but for our visual issue. So this is the base. So if you say this is the building flagellum, this is the basement. Okay, so this we are talking about that basement. Okay, so that means we need to see the transverse section of this particular basal granule. So if you take the transverse section, I hope you don't have any objection here. If I draw this in this area, so let me take a little bit clear and bigger diagram. So 9 peripheral microtubular triplets are present here. 9 peripheral microtubular triplets are present at peripheral. Location is there in the name. Peripheral microtubular triplets. Okay. So these 9 peripheral microtubular triplets, I think the place is not sufficient to me. So 9. Uh, Here I should erase it. Okay. So 9 peripheral microtubular triplets in the basal granule. Okay. And there is no central singlets. You have seen this, central singlets are absent. So we say this kind of arrangement as 9 plus 0. That means if you take the transverse section here, you can see 9 plus 2. Then if you take the transverse section here, you can see 9 plus 0. But these 9 peripheral microtubular triplets are present. Triplets that you need to remember, that you need to consider. Okay. So that let me draw here. Excuse me. So this is the flagellum, a doublet I draw, single one. Okay, a doublet. Okay. When it comes to the basal granule, which the basement for the flagellum, there, what are present? Is there are triplets. One, two, three. We named it actually, isn't it? A, B, C. Here we named it as A and B. That means if you take flagellum, we can see doublets at peripheral side. How many? These kind 9 are present. That if you take basal granule, that how many are present? 9, but we have triplets. So that means the third one, C is not entering into the particular flagellum. Okay, so this visible I'll show in Euglena also. That make us we better understand. Okay, that make us we better understand. So that this is flagellum. Okay. So then who is basal granule? At the base of flagella, whatever present, that we say that is basal granule. Okay. So the situation in the flagellum at peripheral side like this. 9 peripheral microtubular doublet. Situation here. 9 peripheral microtubular triplets. Okay. Next, what we just talked about, there is no that there are two central singlets in case of flagella, isn't it? And there is no singlets in case of basal granule. Okay. So I'll give the conclusion here by closing all this that both at a time 9 peripheral microtubular doublets and 9 peripheral microtubular triplets. At the time, I'll draw that both TS of flagellum and TS of basal granule. Okay, so let us make our Euglena also to stay here that you can understand where I am doing exactly. So this is from here, this one transverse section of flagellum, and let us stay in the color. Yeah, this the transverse section of basal granule. So what is this? This is flagellum. Why I am taking her time here? That visual is very important. If we get the visual, that's so simple for us to learn the basal granule. Okay, so that understanding this visual is also very important for us in the movement of flagellum. Okay, so what I said, 9 peripheral microtubular doublets are present here. 9 peripheral microtubular doublets, 9 it round. Then two central singlets, and that inner fibrous sheath is connected to the A microtubule with radial spokes. All that we are shown. This is the transverse section of flagellum. Then, if we take the transverse section of the basal granule, so what do you see in the basal granule? So here 9 peripheral microtubular triplets are present here. 9 peripheral microtubular triplet. That means each microtubule is having the triplets. Okay, so I'm trying here. I'm trying to draw that all the 9. So these are the 9 peripheral microtubular triplets. No central singlet. That's why we say in the basal granule the arrangement is 9 plus 0, and here the arrangement is 9 plus 2. Okay, so that's it. That's it about this particular. So that means the basal granule is having three. Basal granule is having three microtubules, from which how many microtubules are arising as a flagellum? Two microtubules. So these kind 9 are present in the flagellum and these kind 9 are present in the basal ganglia. The final output 9 plus 2 arrangement in the flagellum with 9 peripheral microtubular doublets and 2 central singlets. In case of basal granule, 9 plus 0. This is very important concept for us to learn even that the coming topics in the flagellar locomotion even. So now I think we better understand the sentences at present now. Thus the triplets of the basal granule are converted into doublets. So whom they are saying? Triplets of the basal granule are converted into doublets in case of flagellum. You imagine this is basement and this is a house. The basal granule is the basement from which who is arising? Flagellum. House is coming out like that. Okay. Then microtubules are absent in the central microtubule. This was not given. Central microtubule. That's what we said. That basal granule is with 9 plus 0. Central microtubules are absent in the basal granule. Okay. Next. So what is another information? The basal granule is connected to the plasma membrane and nucleus by rootlets. So that I'll show in the euglena that you better understand. Okay, this is the flagellum. Okay. What next? I have to show the basal granule. We said here 9 plus 2. We said here 9 plus 0. Then another structure we are making. So what is that? Rootlet. Here it is. This is rootlet. The basal granule connected to the plasma membrane and the nucleus. Here to the nucleus also, there is a rootlets are connecting here, regulating the movement of basal granule followed by the movement of flagellum. They can pull the flagellum and alter its orientation also. Now let's close with learn the things with the help of some question. Dynenorms is a structural component of. Dynenorm is a structural component of.
A tubule.
Yeah, let me go with the options.
Flagellum.
Flagellum. Dynenorms is a structural component of.
Flagellum.
Yeah, very good. Flagellum. The type of arrangement of the tubules in a flagellum is
9 plus 2.
very
9
good.
plus
9
2.
plus 2. Nexins are formed by the protein called. Actually, I think you
Threonine.
No, you may not answer.
Nexin.
Linkers called nexins. These are formed by the protein called tubulin. Dynenorms are made up of dynein. Okay, now I am talking about nexins. Nexins are composed of tubulin. Okay, so here in this module, we learned about that the transverse section of flagellum or axoneme and the basal granule as the 9 plus 2 in case of flagellum, 9 plus 2 in the case of basal granule. The similar came in the cilium also, 9 plus 2 in the cilium, 9 plus 0 in case of flagellum, in case of basal granule. Okay. So